Welcome back to another major 3 versus 3 battle. I'm playing as Hellman Ghorst, and over here we have an Empire player and a Beastman player helping me out. Our enemies would be the Vampire Count, another Dwarf player, and then an Orc player too. If we look at it, they have a Hell Cannon right here. You wouldn't want your very inaccurate artillery weapon to attack it. That would not be a good idea, as you could probably tell. They're not going to do a lot of damage. What will do a lot of damage is if you hit the dwarf player. They have a lot more men, you can kill many more, which is a great call. Back here we're looking at gyro bombers, 2 of them. 1 gyrocopter group, they have a brimstone gun. Thorgrim Grudgebearer, a great leader to have if you want to buff up your hammerers. I mean, if you look at over here, we've got High King, giving them more charge bonus, melee attack, immune to psychology, and weapon damage. That is very important, especially now, as we're getting more flying creatures and other creatures that can really cause a lot of terror. Barely any damage done to the Hell Cannon. The Hell Cannon will have a very fun time charging forward. We're looking at a lot of trolls and they're fully upgraded, which is a weird choice. I wouldn't personally do that, but they are doing that. Goblin archers are back here. Wow, quite a few of them too. And we have an Orc war boss. I'm gonna let time flow naturally. Over here we have Savage Orc Boy Biggins. A lot of them. Again, a very unorthodox build for our enemies. Dragon Ogres, we have Chaos Knights, and it nearly feels like they're working together like a team should, right? Chaos has a lot of infantry, armored trolls, a Chaos Giant. It's a really savage battle. I will have to show you each part of it slowly because, I mean, there's going to be a lot going on. The choppers are moving forward. 3 rocket batteries, way too many. I mean, they're going to lose it. These choppers will destroy them. They have nothing to help them out with. Outriders are on the way. Maybe they could do some big damage. I'm hoping they can because, I mean, that's way too much gold to utilize and not defend. If you're going to build your army around artillery, you want to properly defend it. I think even in chat, I was like, what are you doing? Don't shoot the Hell Cannon. Please, no. I bring in my wonderful Felbats. I mean, very cheap, but highly effective. I love them. They are a great fodder unit to utilize in battle. And now I'm going after the choppers. I'm trying to help him out because, I mean, if he loses everything over here, I'm going to lose a lot too. But friendly fire will probably take out my weaponry, which would be my Felbats. But he's hitting them. That would be a lot of dwarf gold gone. Now he's beginning to redirect. Thankfully, that is a much better call. I don't really need to show any other part of the battle quite yet because, well, nothing else is going on yet. Dwarf players beginning to move up, but what I would have done, I would have had my artillery way over here and I just would have hit the dwarf player. Dwarf player had no way of hitting them. I mean, imagine all that artillery hitting them the entire time. That would have done a lot of damage. I would have focused probably on the iron breakers, maybe the hammers a bit, depending on what I had. But that Hell Cannon, a complete waste. And again, I'm trying to help him out by getting rid of the flying units. My own Felbats, I wanted to utilize them later on, but I couldn't really do that either. If we look at it right now, they're all grouped up, all of these Outriders. I mean, that is a lot of them. Again, in multiplayer, I've been catching a lot more unconventional builds. It's been very strange. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it. I mean, I don't mind a change, but not when you do things like that. Maybe the Empire player is a little bit newer, I don't know. But currently he's getting rocked. I mean, that many Outriders maybe could have made a change. Fighting a Dwarf player, the Dwarf player can't move quickly, has no other range. You would need to micro them heavily. You would need them to move quickly. You would need them to go around every formation, shoot them constantly from every direction that you can. You could have even gone after the High King and potentially killed him. I don't know if he would have gone that far, but that could have been a eventuality. Over here, Bestigor herds are going after more of that Dwarf player. We're already losing a lot. I mean, things are looking pretty bad for my team right now. I don't even know what this guy has back here. Not a lot. Yeah, if you look at him, he's got pretty much nothing. And I'm over here chilling out in the woods for the moment. We've got Gorbals down here. I've got my Grave Guard. I've got my Crypt Horrors. One of you wanted me to play as Hellman Ghorst, and I said, all right, I could do that. The balance of the multiplayer right now is in a really weird place. I mean, Toshi and I have been playing, and it can be pretty strange. We would do quick matches, but we like to play in 2v2. It's just how we like to play. We like to play as a team. It's a lot more fun because 1v1, well, you get a lot of people doing cheesy builds. It's a lot easier to utilize a cheesy build if you don't have someone else to counter it. Toshin's played like, what, I think maybe over 200 matches, if not over 200, close to it. He's played a lot. He knows the game incredibly well. It's actually really extraordinary about how he's able to learn so much about a game. He definitely picks on a lot more to the details than I do. Over here, Minotaurs are now fighting, helping out the Bastigors, who are not cheap at all. You do not want them to die. They've been upgraded a bit. Ironbreaker's taking a lot of damage. They've done a lot of killing to the Outriders, who have killed barely anything. They're just not very good right now. And they probably should be. They would be a great counter to air units. And we definitely need a few counters to air units. We do not have them. You've got to like build specifically to fight air units. And right now he's finally got to the Hammerers, which is a great call. Over here, the Chaos players beginning to move in. The Orc player, I didn't even, like, I was trying to manage so much right now, trying to think about how should I handle the situation. I definitely kept moving around. I had no idea for a little while. I was like, come on. I had Karn Braves, which have terror instilled into their traits, which is very effective. We've got our beautiful Claw of Nagash that I love very much. The Core Bulls are over here. Everyone was kind of doing their own thing. He's even going after a Chaos Giant. That I find to be a bit wild. Let's go look at it real quick. He's got Minotaurs charging in, way too many charging in the front lines. He probably should have waited for me to utilize my own units and then charged in later. He could have focused every single Gorbull Minotaur on one group at a time, potentially kill them. I would have probably gone around and killed them. I would have even gone after the Dwarf player immediately, but he had a lot of Gorbulls over here to help out, or even a Minotaur group, actually, in Khazrak, who I'm not a huge fan of. He's okay, just not very fun. Empire player has a little bit of infantry. We're looking at some battles happening over here. The artillery is finally doing a lot of damage to the Hammerers. Oh, and I'm doing that thing again where I begin to speed up my speech. Now, I'm gonna let you know, if you watch my old content, I don't do that. I don't. I'm a very quiet guy, okay? I'm not very quick in my speech. I like to speak in a more deliberate and calm manner. But then I began to play Total War a lot more. The newer Total Wars, I mean. And they were really fast, and I was like, I can't go over all of that information with my rate of words per minute. And I began to speed up, and then I began to listen to some of my new content, and I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on? And I never thought, oh wow, the Minotaurs actually, or the Gorbulls got after that giant and destroyed it. I didn't think that would happen. That's incredible. Here's to show you how strong they are. Now here's the thing I do. From time to time, I try to save my army, a fresh army. If I don't have a great ally, what I like to do, which is kind of evil, I like to let them kind of tire themselves upon my allies, and then I move in. And now, to be fair, I was trying to micromanage heavily. I was trying to move it around all of my other units, like my Dire Pack, like my Knights over here, my Black Knights that have lances and all of that. But back to my speech, I speak a little bit faster now, and a few of you were like, slow down, dude. I'm like, oh, you're right. I actually agree with you. I really need Warhammer Total War to slow down in the speed of combat. I've been playing Medieval 2, and combat is not nearly as quick. Those satchels are incredibly effective. They can be if they're allowed to just kind of throw in. We can group like Grey Swords for sure. Alright, hold on, let's go look at it real quick before we go crazy. Handgunners are dying. Savage Orcs are all over the map. They're being debuffed here and there. Outriders are coming back, but they're being hit all over the map again. There is no true line to fight on. They're just kind of fighting in a big fray. It's like a big mix-up. And again, all that artillery did not get nearly enough kills for how much he spent on artillery. I'm a little bit upset about that even now. And we have my friend over here fighting. I probably should have moved in immediately. I don't know why I didn't. There's like times when my micromanagement is just not on par. But here I am. I'm trying to get behind all these archers. Maybe that was why. I don't know. But the trolls are numerous, and they could easily destroy a lot of my armored units. And right now the Minotaurs are still fighting. The Beastmen player did a very good job, though, despite, you know, potentially charging it a little bit too soon. He did a very good job at helping out the Empire player and me. He fought on his own against multiple factions. Did very well. Look at all the dead Outriders. A lot of them. And over here we've got the High King chilling on and watching the map. Throwing more satchels, purses at the Minotaurs who are beginning to move away. We got Khazrak moving away. 19 kills only. I don't even know what are you trying to hit? Are you trying to hit that chopper? Kind of weird. But I'm hoping the Empire player learned a lot so that he will be better in the future. Oh, over here, you can look at my Knights beginning to move through. They went after the archers and did a lot of damage. I got a handful of kills, actually. Not as much damage as I was hoping, but I begin to move in now. I'm moving in my zombies, trying to entangle whatever I can. Could have left my zombies here for a long time. That is a lot of nasty, stinky trolls. Yeah, my entire time I've been trying to utilize my mounted units, trying to get around, trying to destroy the goblins. That is a much part of their army. I got my tithe over here, not killing a lot. Over here, I'm fighting now. Oh, and then the Chaos player went around with their Dragon Ogres and came after me. That took me a little bit to go after them. And the Chaos Knights, I mean, it may not look like I was doing anything, but I was actually trying to avoid being flanked the entire time. I had Knights coming in, and we ended up destroying them. I had Dragon Ogres moving in, we ended up potentially destroying them. Not quickly, but it began to happen. And it didn't do a lot of damage to me, so I got rid of a lot of expensive units belonging to Chaos, and the battle's finally beginning to really change up. I'm usually part of the main part of the action, but here, for this part, no. There is so much going on, a very weird thing. The Dwarf player, in my own view, should have relocated up here and potentially helped out. I don't know. The Dwarf player could have done that. The Orc player brought in a lot of weird stuff, a lot of mounted units, and I found that rather strange, but you want to pick on one faction at a time. If you have a lot of mounted units, maybe they could have focused on me, but that's why I was in the trees. I was like, oh my goodness, when I saw all the mounted units they had. And if you look at it over here, they fight a little bit slower. Oh, it just popped up, but they do fight a little bit slower in the trees. They're large. They have to go all around the trees, and that can be rather difficult. We got Khazrak now fleeing, 47 kills, the High King 21 kills. We got a lot of that Empire's army just around here chilling out. Gyro Bomber 22 kills, he could have easily have taken it down. He probably hit that Besagor herd a little bit. Now here's where I begin to really move in, I think, a little bit more. I've got my poor Dire Pack dying, but I've damaged those trolls. I've got my Knights moving in, still trying to go after a lot of archers. There's so many of them, and I've got my undead charging after them. I didn't want to lose my expensive units in battle. The Minotaurs and Gorbulls are always very effective. There's actually a match I'll be showing later on where we had one guy just bring in like an army of Gorbulls. It was Tokshin and myself playing on a snow map. Ooh, we get pretty angry when we have people just cheesing. I mean, it's because they don't win. They don't win. Like maybe against like a newer player they might, but against any good player. And you get tired of having to build for cheesy builds. Like Bretonnian right now is a little bit crazy. They just really need to get rid of one buff for other allies that aren't even Bretonnians. It's that like Son of Bretonnia buff where it buffs up everyone on your team. Everyone. You don't even have to be a Bretonnian. Like, come on now. It would be logical if like maybe it applied only to Bretonnian units, but if it's not a Bretonnian unit, then no, it shouldn't be doing that. And here's Helming Ghorst. He's been around. I've been using spells with him, debuffing things. The trolls are beginning to break. I mean, I had such a weird part of the fight. I had my Crypt Horrors fighting trolls. We had some nasty action going on. Trying to find out who's better, who's stronger, who's the bigger baddie. You can just hear all the thungs. And we have Archaon. 24 kills. Over here, the Empire players beginning to rally things up. He's got Outriders advancing. I mean, I thought that was rather funny, doing no damage. They do a lot of damage, but I mean, I don't know what it is. I think it's because they all focus on like one area. I don't really know. Handgunners do a lot more. I should probably watch them when they fire, because I think they all fire like one location, so they end up wasting their shots and not actually hitting everyone in the group. They do way too much damage and not get kills. I mean, they should be an equivalent to... Yeah, I mean, look at it. Only 18 damage. So clearly something is not right here. Yeah, barely any kills. Long reload, barely any kills. The Dwarf player is beginning to relocate. I'm beginning to gather up my forces. We beat them in the trees. And if you look at it, I'm beginning to redo my formation. I had my Claw of Nagash going out, and I brought him out to actually cause terror to all of the units to the Dwarf player. And that ended up working out pretty well. Was that you, Archaon? Who died over here? Someone died over here. And now we're just gonna all over the map, destroying what's left. It might be the Hell Cannon. Oh, as usual. Here they come. They're like, yeah, we can do it. Team Hell Cannon. The Dangerous 5, the Chaotic 5, the Penis Cannon 5. They're on their way. Can they do it? Will they win the battle? Tune in and find out. Here comes Kazarak One Eye. And they don't mean his ocular vision. And he goes right through them. Who will arise? Oh, really? Killed 3 of them. Did you get another one? Oh! And he went flying. But he's not dead. Kazarak goes on and gores him. Oh boy, I don't think I can show you that part. Okay, yeah, that was about to get pretty graphic. I lost over 500, if you can believe that. Cafe Racer, over 600. Jose, 161, but he barely had anything remaining. Let's go look at my kills real quick. I got a lot with my knights. I went after their archers. I didn't really get a lot beyond that. They had a lot of trolls, a lot of unique units that began to break. So, not really a lot of action going on for my army. It was a very weird fight for me. Very strange. If you look at their armies, not very conventional. I was built for a conventional battle. I didn't really have that. It was a very mobile battle. The Beastman player had a lot of mobile units. I mean, that's part of their faction's theme. Got a lot of average kills all around. And we weren't playing on the biggest unit size, and that's why you'll have less kills. 4 artillery pieces total. Barely any damage. I don't know what he was doing the whole time. That was a very weird fight. I mean, it worked out, but it probably shouldn't have. That was a very weird fight. DEFCON Period 1. Didn't really do much. The trolls did some damage. Savage orcs did okay, but he had like no staying power. No melee units at all outside of the orc war boss and trolls. They were fully upgraded. All of them. Very strange. I didn't comprehend his idea. Vlork didn't really have a lot. He didn't have a lot of staying power. I mean, Chosen might do some damage, but I countered his dragon ogres. I countered his giant, or at least the beastman player did. His trolls didn't do much. Nothing he really had outside of the Chosen did a lot, and they potentially could have fought my zombies. The Hell Cannon killed a few, but that's really it. And then we got Terrageek, and he fought a more conventional fight. He was built a little bit like me, but he brought in way too many choppers and didn't really get to do a lot with them. So you definitely don't want to go so unconventional like that. It's a very weird idea. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you have future ideas for builds or legendary lords that you would like for me to use, let me know. You're going to be seeing a lot of Empire episodes. I wanted to catch up and play them a lot more now that I figured them out. Thank you for watching, and have a great day or night. Until then.